You ever seriously look at your adult life, your bank account, your confidence, your career path, all that good stuff, and suddenly you feel like you've been here before? As if you're sort of living a remix of your parents' story. And maybe you think that's normal. Maybe you think that's okay. But I do want to tell you that's not coincidence. That's not even personality. That is inheritance. And not just the money kind, I'm talking the memory kind, the subconscious kind, the kind that tells you where you belong in this world before you ever even took your first step. And today, with almost a pain and sorrow, man, because I feel like it's so personal, I'm about to show you the proof, the unrelenting proof. And stay with me because it really hurts. It hurts. But let's get busy. Let me show you this chart. So I want to try to take my time with this, but I saw this chart you're looking at right now. And it punched me in the soul. I mean, just dead in my soul. So let me break down real quick what you're looking at that I believed I lived firsthand. At first glance, it just looks like a bunch of dots, right? But each one of these dots is a life. Look at the dots closely. They represent life, a life, people like me and you. Now, on the horizontal line, that is your childhood, household, income, which is where your family started and is the financial air you grew up breathing. Interpret that, process that. That's the horizontal line. On the vertical line now, that is your adult income. That's where you ended up. That's the altitude you reached or didn't, right? You understand what I'm saying? Now the colors. Green, that means you did better than your parents, financially speaking. Yellow, it means you stayed the same. Again, this is financially speaking. Red, it means you dropped below the level you were raised in. So now here's the kicker. All of these dots cluster into patterns, patterns that prove something we've always felt in our bones and really don't want to say out loud. Here's what it says to me. Most people do not escape the gravitational pull of their childhood. They just land in the adult version of the environment they grew up in. You see those top right dots? This is actually probably your left, and my left is your right. But the top right dots, that's the permission to rise childhood. Those are kids raised around confidence, stability, possibility. Shouldn't make you confused. They keep rising. Now you see the lower left. That's where it hurts. That's where I'm from. Those are inherited feelings. Those are kids raised around survival, scarcity, stressed. They stay anchored down. Please listen to what I'm telling you, man. This chart that you are looking at is basically a map of childhood consciousness turning into adult reality. It's not fate. It's imprint. Now let's keep flowing through this, but hold this image in your mind, all right? Oof. I didn't expect this to feel so emotional, but it feels very emotional for me. Now, we'd agree. Separate dots, different jobs, different lives. And yet, it's the same pattern. People don't grow up, they repeat. People don't rise, they return. People don't chase careers, they chase familiarity. So here's the part we never want to admit. Most folks, probably you watching this right now, aren't following dreams, they're following programming. Instructions they never even knew were downloaded. You see, your childhood was the first operating system installed on your mind. So in that way, every fight, fear, bill argument, silence, struggle, that wasn't insignificant or inconsequential. That was coding, that was training, that was imprint. And now, as you are out there adulting, you are running version 1.0 on hardware that was never meant for version God. Because here's the part where it gets really wild, man. The chart is not about money. It is about mobility of consciousness. It's about where your soul learned to stand. It's about who taught you the altitude you were allowed to reach. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, man? This scatter plot, again, not inconsequential. This isn't economists playing with data. This is the spiritual blueprint of America made visible. Go back to it. Look at the top right. Doctors, executives, programmers, firefighters. Those dots don't just work hard. They inherited permission. Permission to move up. Permission to grow. Permission to believe they belonged at the top of the chart. That is faith-based consciousness, identity anchored in possibility. Now look at the bottom left. And I'm not knocking the skill, all right? Janitors, childcare workers, food prep, home care. Those dots didn't inherit laziness. They inherited limitation, a ceiling disguised as realistic, a fear-based consciousness baked into childhood. So it's not really your fault. But yes, it is still your responsibility. You see, children raised in survival become adults who think success is suspicious. Children raised around ceilings become adults who stop climbing. Children raised in fear inherit the religion of stay small, man, so life doesn't hurt you. So again, this chart isn't about income. It's about the operating system your parents accidentally, on purpose, installed. But the part that hit me the hardest, some of these dots break the chart. Some of these dots escape the pattern. Some of these dots break the algorithm of their lineage. The curse doesn't need to go on forever. And those are the anomalies, the outliers, the one the world tries to call lucky, but God calls awake. Did you catch that huge gap where doctors and surgeons leap 30 plus percentiles above their parents? That's not just a job, that's a mindset inheritance. Kids raised in possibility normalize altitude. Kids raised in struggle normalize gravity. But here's the flip on that. Even gravity is optional once you learn how consciousness works. So yes, your childhood wrote your script, but your adulthood decides if you keep performing it. This chart proves one truth. Innerfluence is what separates destiny from repetition. So let me ask you something real. Has your life been rising or just repeating? Have your choices been conscious or inherited? Have you been climbing or circling the same emotional block? Are you building a future or reenacting a childhood? And be honest, man. Has your success been yours or your parents' ghost? Because the moment you slow down long enough to ask these questions and answer truthfully, You stop being a dot and start becoming the hand that moves it. So let's pull this one in close, because this isn't about charts. This isn't about careers. This isn't about percentile jumps. This is about inherited consciousness and the spiritual altitude that you choose next. And we know philosophy means nothing without application. Awakening means nothing without architecture. Did you guess what time it is? Because it's that time. Time to do you. So let's do you, and let's do you together. 5 moves, 1 consciousness. Faith meets functionality. We start with disrupt. Break the inherited script. Write down the top 5 beliefs you absorbed around money, identity, and success. If it came from fear, break it. Disrupt that noise. Then you want to own it. Claim the truth. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Your parents gave you their best. God bless. But it's not your blueprint. Then you want to yield. Surrender your ceiling. You cannot rise if you're still loyal to the version of you that survived childhood. Then you want to observe. Track your autopilot. Where do you self-sabotage? Where do you shrink? Where do you match your parents' frequency instead of God's? Track and observe that. Then you want to unleash. Move like the anomaly. Operate like you inherited heaven, not scarcity. Walk your walk like the chart doesn't apply to you. Because it doesn't. And if somebody's out there watching this and they try to say to you, that dude's whack, people don't really change, point at that dot that moved 30 percentiles. Point at the lineage that broke the algorithm. Point at yourself. Those are your 5 moves. That's 1 consciousness. My beautiful community of influencers. In our final moments together, let me be a reminder. That chart hurts, and it says a lot. But you are not your childhood percentile. You are not your fear inheritance. You are not your parents' ceiling. You are God's outlier. You are the dot that bends the chart. You are the anomaly that becomes the new lineage. You are that INNERFLUENCE. So BYB, bring you back. BGB, bring God back, because you own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.